Good morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another great show for you today. I'm joined by Kevin Walling. Nice to see you, Kevin.
Good morning, Robby. Good to be with you.
Thanks for being in our new digs.
How about it? They're beautiful.
Thank you. All right, let's get to our top political news story. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are hitting the swing states hard just 48 days out from the election. In his first appearance since the apparent assassination attempt on Sunday, Trump spoke to supporters in Flint, Michigan last night alongside his former press secretary, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Governor Sanders did not hold back, took plenty of shots at Harris. Let's watch.
So my kids keep me humble. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble.
Meanwhile, Vice President Harris spoke in Philadelphia at the National Association of Black Journalists for her very first solo interview with national media. Take a listen to what she said about the right's Haitian migrant rumors in that speech.
I know that people are deeply troubled by what is happening to that community in Springfield, Ohio. And it's got to stop. And we've got to say that you cannot be entrusted with standing behind the seal of the President of the United States of America, engaging in that hateful rhetoric that, as usual, is designed to divide us as a country.
A new polling has the vice president's standing working in her favor. 538 gives the vice president a 61% chance of winning and gives the former president a 39% chance of winning. Plus, the Economist polling average finds that Harris has opened up her largest lead yet with over 4 points over the former president.
But not all models paint such a rosy picture. Nate Silver has consistently thought that Trump was somewhat ahead. Silver's model is now back toward 50-50 in the Electoral College. Still, CBS says they're struggling to find any Harris voters at all in Nevada restaurants when they go looking for them. Let's watch this.
We had so much fun, but what was really incredible is in every single restaurant of the people willing to talk to us, we could only find one Harris supporter in every restaurant, and we left no stone unturned. I approached every single person.
Can't find them. Where are they? Where are these Harris supporters hiding out?
I don't know what restaurants they were going to. I don't know. We got to get a note to the Harris campaign to get some more folks out there for buying their own lunches out and about.
I guess. So this is a 50-50 election right now. It's going to be incredibly close. The
election 7 weeks to go in this matchup.
The last election was also very close, and this is going to be even closer. So, it's depending on who's your favorite pollster. I happen to quite like Nate Silver, who has given a little bit more likelihood to Trump prevailing, I would say, over the last few weeks than other models, which he explains pretty thoroughly on his Substack, if you find that. But the major issue for Harris, it's an issue for both of them, is Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Very likely to decide the election. And Kamala Harris has not had, she has polls there showing her up maybe a point or two. But, we got to go back to how bad the polling error was in the Democrats' favor last time around. If polls only showing her up...
In both 16 and in 22.
Yes, so polls only showing her up by 1 or 2 points when the errors were somewhere between 2 and 4 points last time is actually not good for Harris. You need her, if the errors are the same as they were last time, maybe the polls got dramatically more accurate, that's going to be exactly, the final is going to match the polling, and then yes, Kamala Harris would win. But if the error is as much as it was in the previous cycles, Donald Trump is actually up despite looking like he's down in those polls.
Yeah, Robby, it's a good point. And some procrastinators have said that now they're overemphasizing Trump support in some of these polls to make up for that gap that we saw in 2016 and 2020. It's anyone's guess, though, on the ground what that looks like. Of course, the Harris campaign is out there touting all these regional offices that they're opening. I think there's 50 offices now open in must-win Pennsylvania, to your point. And we'll see what kind of operation the RNC and the Trump campaign roll out. But now it's certainly on. Again, with less than 7 weeks left in this race, the vice president is back in Washington giving a speech to the Congressional Hispanic Institute, a must-win block for Democrats. We've seen some of that support kind of falter from Democrats in recent polling and in support of Donald Trump. So she's got to reassure her base. Of course, former president's in deep blue New York, on Long Island tonight, rallying his base. People are saying tens of thousands of folks are going to show up for that event. Of course, the second one since that assassination attempt in Palm Beach.
What I think Trump has done very effectively in recent weeks is talk about economic issues that might specifically apply to voters he's trying to reach, like people who work for tips in restaurants. Talk about not being able to find Kamala Harris supporters in restaurants. He said, okay, no taxing on tips.
And it's a good enough idea that the vice president's campaign
she had to adapt it.
Taken hold of that.
But she had, she's put forth economic plans that I don't really think are very good, but and have actually not gotten, I would say, a rave reception from economists in terms of the, giving money to people to buy houses. Well, that's not going to do anything for the housing supply. It's just going to raise housing prices. That kind of stuff. What should she be out there? And then, of course, the right has been all about the harms from immigration in small towns. I'm sure we've talked about that exhaustively this week. I don't even want to open up that can of worms or fish or birds or cats yet again. I am getting very sick of the subject. But that does speak to the fears that a lot of people, and not just suburban white voters, but members of these communities who also in some cases feel displaced by immigrant labor or illegal immigrants taking social service or things of that nature.
Yeah, and to your point, Robby, all eyes on the economy, right? And all eyes certainly on what the Fed is going to do today. I think the vice president's campaign is hoping for at least at most a half-point reduction in interest rates. That would hopefully fuel the economy heading into this final stretch. But certainly, the pocketbook issues are front and center. And to your point, the former president has been, I think, effectively communicating on that front. We saw that last night with Governor Sanders in Michigan, and we'll see how the vice president can step up and counter some of those economic attacks. Hopefully, that rate cut will help her campaign fuel that effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's always important to remember that she just kind of got, foisted into this role as the candidate. She did not have to run a primary campaign. She did not have to do debates. So, whether her message, her policies, her character resonates with the American people has been, it's been tested to some degree. She was on the winning ticket last time.
And to your point, we've seen her favorability increase, interestingly enough. She was somewhat underwater as vice president the days before the president decided to step back. I think she was like 16 points underwater. Now she's near even in terms of favorability. That jump has been extraordinary. We'll see if that's sustainable with that kind of honeymoon that continues on over these next 7 weeks.
She's benefited from what I would say is just incredibly favorable, positive media coverage, gushing, I might even say sycophantic at times, and that has helped her. I would say she's doing just about as well as could have been expected, given that this was kind of a risky move. Well, it wasn't a risky move to change candidates because Joe Biden was going to lose the election. It was almost guaranteed.
Yes,
so at that point, doing anything is actually not risky. Keeping Biden was risky. But, as you pointed out, she had a low favorability rating. For most of his presidency, she was less popular than he was. People found her
the last 3.5 years
as a less effective communicator, specifically, than him up until the very end. So she's doing well, given all that. She's made this a very, very, very close election.
And something exciting to watch, too.
And something exciting to watch. That's all we care about,
doing
as the pundits. That's
day
all
in
we
and day
care
out.
about.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll have more Rising right after this. Lots more of the show to come. Stay with us.